Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Young at Heart. I am so glad you're here with me today for a conversation that I believe could be a real eye-opener and one that is incredibly important for your long-term health. I want you to picture yourself in the grocery store. You're walking down the aisles, carefully reading the labels, making conscious choices. You pick up the whole wheat bread instead of the white. You choose the low-fat yogurt, and you grab that carton of all-natural fruit juice. You are trying so hard to do the right thing for your body and your brain. You are investing time and effort into your health, and you should be proud of that. But what if I told you that some of those very foods, the ones with the healthy-looking labels, could be secretly betraying you? As a brain doctor who has spent decades studying the profound link between food and inflammation, I am constantly shocked to see my patients, wonderful people just like you, unknowingly filling their carts with foods that are actually fueling the silent fire of chronic inflammation that we know is linked to achy joints, memory problems, and a host of other age-related health issues. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain. We are going to identify 5 of the most common healthy food imposters, and, most importantly, I'll show you what to choose instead. So let's get right to it. It's time to expose these food imposters so you can be an empowered and informed shopper, making the absolute best choices for your health. Remember, this isn't about guilt. It's about knowledge. The first healthy food to never touch: most commercial whole wheat bread. The first food on our list is a staple in almost every American home. An item we've been told for decades is the cornerstone of a healthy diet. I'm talking about most of the brown, whole wheat bread you find on your supermarket shelves. Let me tell you about a patient of mine. We'll call her Margaret. Margaret was in her late 60s and was very concerned about her heart health. She had dutifully switched her family from white bread to what she thought was healthy whole wheat bread years ago. Every morning, she had a slice of whole wheat toast with her eggs. Yet she was struggling. She had terrible morning stiffness in her hands and knees, and she complained of a persistent brain fog that would set in by the afternoon. She couldn't understand it. She was eating healthy, so why did she feel so inflamed and mentally sluggish? The problem lies in how most commercial whole wheat bread is made. The term whole wheat can be very misleading. To give the bread a soft, fluffy texture and a long shelf life, manufacturers often take the whole wheat grain and pulverize it into a very fine flour. This process destroys much of the fiber structure. The result is a flour that, while technically whole wheat, acts very similarly to white flour in your body. It gets digested incredibly quickly, causing a rapid and significant spike in your blood sugar. This blood sugar roller coaster is a major trigger for inflammation. Think of it like this: every time your blood sugar spikes, it's like sounding a 5-alarm fire bell inside your body. Your system scrambles to deal with the sugar overload, and this process creates inflammation. When you start your day with this inflammatory spike, you set the stage for more pain and more brain fog. So what is the healthy swap? You don't have to give up bread entirely. You just need to become a more discerning bread shopper. Look for bread that is 100% stone-ground whole grain. The stone grinding process creates a much coarser flour that your body digests more slowly, preventing that blood sugar spike. Another fantastic option is sprouted grain bread, which you often find in the freezer section. Sprouting the grains before baking makes them easier to digest and unlocks more nutrients. Finally, authentic, traditionally made sourdough bread is another excellent choice, as the fermentation process helps to break down some of the compounds that can be hard on your system. So say goodbye to the fluffy, processed brown bread and say hello to these truly healthier, inflammation-cooling alternatives. The second healthy food to avoid: flavored and low-fat yogurt. Next on our list is another food that wears a big health halo: yogurt. We see commercials telling us it's great for our gut health, and that's true, sometimes. The culprit I'm shocked by is the vast majority of flavored and especially low-fat yogurts. Let's talk about Robert. Robert was in his early 70s and was pre-diabetic, trying hard to manage his blood sugar. He thought he was making a perfect choice by having a small container of peach-flavored, low-fat yogurt as his afternoon snack. It was low in fat, had some protein, and fruit. It seemed like the ideal health food. But his afternoon blood sugar readings were always mysteriously high, and he felt that familiar inflammatory ache in his joints. The problem? Sugar, and lots of it. When food companies remove the fat from a product like yogurt, they remove the flavor and the creamy texture. To make it taste good again, they have to add something back in. And what they add is sugar, often in multiple forms: high fructose corn syrup, fruit concentrates, and other sweeteners. A single small container of fruit on the bottom yogurt can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar. That's as much sugar as a candy bar or a can of soda. You think you're having a healthy snack, but you are actually eating a sugary dessert that is sending that inflammatory fire alarm ringing all over your body. The healthy swap here is both simple and delicious. Choose plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. The full-fat version is creamier, more satisfying, and doesn't have the added sugars. The protein will keep you full for hours, and if you want that fruity sweetness, add your own. A handful of fresh or frozen berries, our fourth food on this list, will give you natural sweetness along with a powerful dose of anti-inflammatory antioxidants and fiber. By making this simple swap, you get all the probiotic benefits of yogurt without the inflammatory sugar bomb. The third healthy food to avoid: most fruit juices. This one can be tough for people to hear because it has been marketed to us as pure health in a glass for our entire lives. I'm talking about fruit juice, especially that classic glass of orange juice with breakfast. Let's think about Eleanor. Eleanor was a firm believer in starting her day with a tall glass of orange juice to get her vitamin C and start the day right. But she was on a constant energy roller coaster. She would feel good for about an hour after breakfast, and then a wave of fatigue and brain fog would hit her, and she would need more coffee and a sugary snack to get through the morning. Her joints also felt particularly stiff and achy in the mornings. Here is the shocking truth about fruit juice. When you take a healthy fruit, like an orange, and squeeze it into juice, you are performing an act of nutritional sabotage. You are stripping away the single most important component that makes fruit healthy: the fiber. The fiber in a whole fruit acts like a buffer, slowing down the absorption of the fruit's natural sugar, fructose, into your bloodstream. Without that fiber, a glass of fruit juice is essentially a glass of sugar water. It hits your system all at once, causing a massive, rapid spike in blood sugar and a huge inflammatory response. Think about it. You would probably never sit down and eat 5 whole oranges at once, but you can easily drink the juice of 5 oranges in a single glass. You are getting all of the sugar with none of the protective fiber. The healthy swap is beautifully simple. Eat the whole fruit. Enjoy a whole orange, a whole apple, or a bowl of berries. When you eat the fruit whole, you get the vitamins, the minerals, the water, and that all-important fiber that keeps your blood sugar stable. If you're thirsty, the best drink in the world is a simple glass of water. If you want some flavor, Add a squeeze of fresh lemon or lime. Your body will thank you for it. The fourth healthy food to avoid: industrial vegetable and seed oils. This next one is perhaps the most shocking and sneaky of all, because these oils are hiding in almost every single processed food, from salad dressings and mayonnaise to crackers and baked goods. I am talking about industrial vegetable and seed oils, like soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, and safflower oil. For decades, we were told to avoid butter and use margarine and these heart-healthy vegetable oils instead. But this advice, we now know, was a terrible mistake that has contributed to a massive rise in chronic inflammation. Let's talk about the science in a simple way. Your body needs a healthy balance between two types of fats: omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-3s, which we find in fatty fish and walnuts, are anti-inflammatory. They are the firefighters. Omega-6s, in small amounts from whole foods, are necessary. But in the huge quantities we get from these processed oils, they are highly pro-inflammatory. They are the ones starting the fires. The ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in our diet should be around 1:1 or 2:1. But the modern American diet, which is flooded with these cheap processed vegetable oils, has a ratio closer to 20:1. This means our bodies are constantly in a pro-inflammatory state, fueling the fire that leads to achy joints, a foggy brain, and so many other chronic diseases. I had a patient named George who did all his own cooking. He was so proud that he had thrown out butter years ago and only used a big jug of vegetable oil for everything, thinking he was protecting his heart. Yet his blood tests showed high levels of inflammatory markers, and his arthritis was getting worse. The healthy oil he was using every single day was a primary contributor to his body's silent fire. The healthy swap is to clear your pantry of those industrial oils. For your everyday cooking, switch to extra virgin olive oil, which is rich in anti-inflammatory polyphenols. For higher heat cooking, avocado oil and coconut oil are excellent choices. And by reducing your consumption of processed foods, you will automatically reduce your intake of these inflammatory oils. The fifth healthy food to avoid: most granola and cereal bars. Our final food imposter is the one so many people reach for when they need a quick, healthy snack on the go. I'm talking about most of the granola, cereal bars, and energy bars you see in the supermarket. Let's think about Susan. Susan is a busy grandmother who is always running around with her grandkids. She would keep a box of what she thought were healthy oat and honey granola bars in her purse for a quick energy boost. But she noticed that after eating one, she would feel a quick rush of energy, followed by a hard crash that left her feeling tired, irritable, and even more hungry than before. These bars are masters of disguise. They are marketed with pictures of mountains, fields of oats, and words like natural and wholesome. But when you turn the box over and read the ingredients list, you uncover the truth. They are often little more than candy bars in disguise. They are held together with a glue of various sugars: corn syrup, brown rice syrup, fructose, dextrose, and made with processed inflammatory grains. They cause a significant blood sugar spike and subsequent crash, which is a recipe for inflammation and fatigue. The healthy swap is to reach for a snack that provides real, lasting energy without the sugar crash. A perfect choice is a small handful of raw, unsalted nuts and seeds, like almonds, walnuts, or pumpkin seeds. They provide a wonderful combination of healthy fat, protein, and fiber that will keep you full and your blood sugar stable. Another great option is a piece of whole fruit, like an apple, paired with a spoonful of natural almond or peanut butter. These whole food snacks provide your body with the clean energy it needs to thrive without fueling the fire of inflammation. So let's take a deep breath. We've learned today that in our quest to be healthy, we can sometimes be led astray by clever marketing and misleading labels. We've uncovered 5 common healthy foods that can secretly fuel the silent fire of chronic inflammation, contributing to the very joint pain and memory problems we are trying to avoid. The most important message I want you to take away is that this knowledge is power. It's not about feeling guilty about past choices. It's about being empowered to make better choices starting today. By recognizing these 5 inflammatory culprits, the processed breads, the sugary yogurts, the fiberless juices, the industrial oils, and the candy bar in disguise granola bars, you can now navigate the grocery store with confidence. I invite you to make one small, powerful change this week. Just one. Could you swap your morning glass of juice for a whole orange? Or look for plain, full-fat Greek yogurt and add your own berries? Perhaps you can decide to use olive oil instead of vegetable oil for your cooking this week. That one simple swap is a huge step in the right direction, a declaration that you are in control of your health. Remember, this journey is about replacing foods that fuel the fire with delicious, whole foods that cool it. Be kind to yourself. Every healthy swap is a victory for your joints and a gift to your brain. If you found this conversation valuable and caring, please consider giving this video a like to help it reach other seniors who need this important information. And please, subscribe to the Young at Heart channel so we can continue to share trustworthy, empowering health information with our wonderful community. Thank you for your time and your trust today. Be well, eat well, and I look forward to seeing you again right here in our next video.